Today's video is something that I've been planning on making for a long time now, and I wanted to wait to make sure that I had all the facts. But then I realized that there are no facts, there's just different ways that you could do this. And this particular thing that I'm referring to is manifesting. Now, we've heard about it a million times. It's all over TikTok, it's all over Instagram. There's like a billion spiritual teachers out there teaching you different ways on how to get the things that you want. But I'm going to go ahead and simplify it for you because you really don't need a formula, an equation. You don't need some sort of long list of to-dos every single day and affirmations and things like that to do this. It's super simple, and I'm actually going to tell you how I successfully manifested so many amazing things in my life. And then hopefully you can use whatever I tell you to do it yourself. So, to put it simply, the great thing about manifesting is basically all you're doing is setting aside some time to yourself to speak to your guides, your soul family, your ancestors, God, whatever you call it. You're basically allowing them to listen to what you have to say. You're going to explain your day just like if you were to write it in your journal. Talk to them like I'm speaking to you right now. Like they're there with you because they are. You're going to ask them the things that you want, the things you're struggling with, why you want them. Consider your intention. Speak to them about your intention. You know, they're listening to all of that stuff. And when you settle, like when you actually know exactly what you want, you just simply ask for it. And there is no specific way that you do that. I talk to my guides, again, just how I'm speaking to you now. And when I ask for this particular thing, and this is the most important part of all of this, when I ask for what I want, and this is after considering my intention, considering whether it's helping the collective, and this is me personally, considering whether I'm able to do the things that I love and I'm following my inspiration. Basically what I do is I allow it to come through. I forget about it. I've asked about it and then I forget about it. I think allowing is the hardest part for most people, including myself. I am 100% guilty of this. The second I ask for something, I used to do this thing where I would get a pen and paper and write down all the different ways on how I can get it. But how isn't important. It's literally allow your guides to assist you with this. Allow your higher self to figure this out for you. Now, this is going to sound weird for some of you, but if you are watching my video, then you're probably already weird and you probably already know about this guy. His name is Darryl Anka, and he is a channel for an extraterrestrial entity called Bashar. Now, they've been doing this, or they've been working together for the last 35 years. They literally sit on stage and they answer people's questions and they do podcasts and a bunch of other really cool stuff. But Bashar is answering questions about the universe. And where I'm getting at here is one of the questions he was asked was about manifesting, the best method. Now, Bashar has a specific whole formula for it. And it's 4 different steps, and I'll go over that in another video. But the most important thing that he says is that our higher mind conceives, our actual mind receives, a human brain of ours receives, and our body perceives. So I'm gonna say that again. Our higher self is the one or the entity that is conceiving the information, that is the being that is actually creating this thing that you want to manifest. It's the thing that's giving it to you, that's figuring it all out. You don't have to figure it out. Our higher self does that work for us. Our brain receives the information as long as we allow it to come through, that we're open to receiving it, and our body is perceiving that information. And I thought that was so interesting because he basically just broke down everything. We overthink this so much, but we already have the things that we want. We just don't allow it to come through. Honestly, the reason why we think it's so hard is because we were raised to believe that. We were raised to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and work really hard and have be at a job for 30 years and then retire and all this other stuff. And if you don't do that, then you're not working hard enough. You don't want it bad enough. But that's not true. That's not true at all. I think that if we follow our inspiration and we do the things that we love to do without overthinking it, we get the things that we want. But you also have to be able to be in the right mindset to Notice those things. Notice the messages and the gifts that are coming through. Receive them. Allow them to come through. And I keep saying the word allow because it's such a powerful word because we don't do it. Humans don't allow, humans force, humans control. So, in short, manifesting is simply allowing your gifts to come through that you already have. Some of the things that I've manifested has been $10,000. Has been what else? Recently, I got a press pass to the upcoming Conscious Life Expo. That's going to be starting from, was it February 9th to February 12th? I'm going to be there with a press pass. Never done it before, but I manifested that. I love it. I think I might talk a little bit more about that, but I'll keep going for now. I manifested my house. I manifested my car, my husband. And these are all things that I didn't even know what manifestation was before I manifested them. I just asked for it and I allowed it to come through. And there was no doubt in my mind that I would have it. And that's another thing. Get rid of fear, get rid of doubt, get rid of control. I'm telling you again, it is not your job to make these things come through. And I'm not saying that there's nothing you have to do. All I'm saying is allow your higher self to figure out how it's going to happen. So when you are driving and all of a sudden you get this hint of inspiration to, I don't know, like write a book, but write a book that's supposed to help people heal trauma or something. And you're like, wow, that's a really great idea. And normally whenever you get these inspirations, your human brain's like, well, it takes a long time. You suck at writing. Your grammar's horrible. You know, blah, blah, blah. It has all these different reasons why you can't do that. Ignore that. Just simply focus on the fact that you have the idea and sit down with that idea one day and let the inspiration start flowing as every day goes by. Let that start flowing through you. And it's all going to come together at some point. And don't force it. And I know for a lot of people, this is really hard to do. I'll be completely honest with you. I have to constantly remind myself not to force it. Because I'll get that hit of inspiration. And next thing you know, I'm sitting in front of my computer researching every little thing about it. But now what I do is I just wait for that inspiration to hit again. So those were a couple of things that I manifested. And I also want to go back to the Conscious Life Expo. That's a perfect example of how for a moment I thought my manifestation didn't work. So I applied for the press pass, the media pass. I was immediately denied because my platform was not large enough, because this particular event, they needed people that had been around for a while, that had more experience, so that they can, gain more followers and gain more traction and views and things like that, or more eyes on the event itself. Anyways, so I was denied. And even when I was denied, this is super important. When I was denied, I didn't feel let down. I wasn't upset about it. I remember thinking to myself, like, I felt that wasn't a true denial. Lo and behold, a week before the event, I reach out to the company and I'm like, hey, am I allowed to bring my backpack? Because I want to bring my backpack and I don't want to get kicked out. Because, yeah. And they were like, oh, well, sure, but why do you need a backpack? And I was like, well, I'm going to buy a bunch of stuff and put my backpack in it, or put it in my backpack. And they were just like, oh, well, wait, did you apply to a press pass? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, send your application again. I redid the application. I did it like within 5 minutes, like super quick. And I proofread it, made sure everything was spelled right, sent it over to them. And about 5 minutes later, they said that I got my press pass. So first I got a no. I waited like almost 2 months, and then I got a yes. And in that entire time, I didn't let that no let me down. It was just a no in that moment. It doesn't mean that it's a permanent no. So that's just a perfect example of how sometimes it might look one way, but it's a whole nother way. You just gotta, stay positive and you'll get what you want. So before I let you go, I want to talk about a manifestation challenge that I want to do. I want you to take this video. I want you to use what I say in this video. I want you to write down what you want. Put aside some time and talk to your guides about it. And I want you to post it in the comments. Please post what you want. And then as soon as you get it, please come back and let me know when you got it. Whether it be a week, a month, a year, save this video and come back to it and let me know when you get what you want. And my little method here let me know if my method here has helped you at all. I really do hope that you guys have learned something from this video. Again, simply speak to your guides. Allow that thing that you want to come through, whether it be a mindset or an actual physical object. Doesn't matter what it is, it's whatever you want. Follow Bashar. I might do another video about him. Really interesting being that channels through Daryl Yanka. Really, really interesting. People have been channeling for like forever. So I just think that, Bashar, it's just, they're really interesting being that's helping out humanity. And right now he's my favorite. He's the one I've been following lately. Oh, and speaking of Bashar, that's my next manifestation, is an interview or a meeting with him. I'm not sure what it looks like yet, but I want to work with him. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So, if anything I said in this video helped you at all, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for existing, and don't forget to like and subscribe.